down at the distillery today at the Thompson Landry Gallery, just sprucing up the planters as there's an event tomorrow. Out with the old, in with the new. Hi, this is a good example of both dried and living elements. By having the live flowers with the structure that is non-living, it gives a very big, impactful expression. This is a perfect example of using two elements, both renewable, long-lasting bamboo and the orchid plant, which it can be used after the event for a long time to come. There's another example of using both artificial flowers with live flowers. It gives a much more impactful feel at a more cost-effective price, as well as lowering your footprint as there's less flowers being used. This is obviously an artificial ball, but it really blends very nicely and it's not that apparent that it's not real. This is a really wonderful example of something that's really unique and not a lot of plant material. There's solely orchid stems, and not that many of them, with a lot of moss on a really beautiful and dynamic form. The trend is, as shown again, with exotic dried materials and very small amounts of living material suspended in beautiful containers to give high impact with not a lot of live material. This is an example of not so much floral design, but almost architectural design, as this florist has used dried branches and wrapped them in a structure form and used flowers just to highlight the dynamicness of the structure. This is a combination of two trends, the dried materials used with living plants, which can be used after the event is over.
So here we have sort of a small-scale example of intercropping, and this is onion.
Yeah.
And this is groundnut, which is very much tastes the same, looks the same as a peanut. So the groundnuts, they're nitrogen fixing, so they release nitrogen into the soil.
So are they a good crop rotation item?
Absolutely, yeah. This is all an alternative to buying expensive inputs like fertilizers and expensive seeds, which are really not...
So using less expensive resources that are accessible to them
right.
will help them sustain.
Exactly.
This is a really great idea, using both edible herbs and the beauty of small roses. A combination of living plants and herbs that can be eaten later on after the event. Here's a perfect edible that you can put in a container, which is purple, which is one of the 2010's most hot colors, which is flash peppers. of a table center that could be used. Something that has sort of an organic feel, but also holds the herbs very nicely in a controlled space. Some of the herbs that can be used are oregano, thyme, which is this cute little one in here, basil, as everybody knows basil. Some hot chilies add a nice little spice to any garden pot. This is a perfect example of a trend that's evolving with the combination of beautiful flowers and edible garden elements. Basil, thyme,